All right, let's get started. Hi everyone. My name is Stephanie. I am an administrative officer at G-MEO, and I will be starting our webinar, Digital Skills You Can Collect from a Virtual Internship. So as you know, during the pandemic, virtual internships have definitely gained a lot of popularity when they haven't been so popular in the past. A lot of students are doing virtual internships for the very first time. And a lot of internship providers are kind of learning how to make that work. And we think that despite any difficulties that they may have presented, we think that they have been beneficial and that they're here to stay. So we're so happy you can join us as we hear from internship providers, employers, and former students discuss the many advantages and skills that can be gained by taking part in a virtual internship, specifically digital skills. Okay, next slide, Vanessa, please. Okay, so our panelists today, we have 4 speakers. First is Terrence Fu, who will talk about his experience as a supervisor for interns. We have Sarah Luo, who is the director at the G-MEO Chengdu American Center, who has a lot of experience with placing students in their internships. And we have 2 students from Stevens Institute of Technology, Nicole and Vivian, who will talk about their own experiences doing a virtual internship this summer. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so first up, we will have Terrence doing his part. Next slide, please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. And hello to everyone, and good morning. Thank you for having me here. And I'm very happy to be here in this webinar and share my premature ideas about internships or virtual internships. Firstly, I would like to have a brief introduction about myself. My name is Fui, as you can see in the slide, and Terrence is my English name. I'm the manager of Seagulls China, Chengdu branch. Also, I am a key account manager of international projects. I joined my company Seagulls in 2012. 9 years passed. I still find Seagulls business very interesting that I can never stop developing my own potentials. Next, please. Slides, thank you. So the second, I have 3 sentences to introduce about my company. Where I'm come from is called Seagulls. As you can see in the slide, it is a French company. And it's the largest training group in Europe with business running in 11 countries worldwide. Our main business is to empower people, professional skills in workplace, from new employees to high-level executives of a company like leadership, project management, selling skills, supply chain management, etc. Our business is globalized, and our clients choose us as a reliable global training provider, such as Siemens, Sony, Airbus, and most of the top 500 Fortune companies. That is all for about my company. And the theme of today's conference call is internship. So I would like to firstly to present you how we recruit interns or employees. Next slide, please. And what is our process of the recruitment? As you can see, we have in 2 steps. First, it's the assessment. You need to pass the assessment developed by our Spanish assessment center. It is mandatory, and the result for us is pretty reliable. And this is why most of international companies, they started to adopt this method as a very necessary step for interview a long time ago. Now, I noticed more and more Chinese companies are also using this method for their recruiting. Assessment can help our employers to have a more objective pre-look at the candidate. So my suggestion for all the interns who are looking for internship or job in the future, please be aware of this tool and get prepared of this before you enter into interviews. If in Seagulls, if you fail the assessment round, you lose the chance to go into the next step. If you pass it, here we come to the second step, face-to-face interview. In this round, besides some basic workplace and English skills, we more focus on the following three qualities. First, your will to communicate and your communication skills, because we believe all job done mostly by communication. And this needs you to be open and communicate, and the will be the 0 to 1 step. Our second focus is your logic. Logic lies in everywhere in our daily work. We find it how you organize your words, not in the interview, not the words itself. This represents how your thought works while you're speaking or presenting. Logic will decide the way you handle your work in the future. Logic better, work efficiency better. The third one is curiosity, a sense of questioning. It sounds very easy to you, maybe, but maybe you're thinking, I ask questions a lot every day, I'm doing good, but on the contrary, it is not easy at all. The question we are talking about is not the action. We're talking about what your questions are in work or in the interview. So at least so far, we found a very low percentage in the interview of all candidates who got very good sense of questioning, not even mention good questions to reveal our underlying evidences. Question or not, it shows us if you're deeply thinking, and it shows us like if you're curious about we are speaking or we're talking about. So this ability will make you very different from others in the workplace or in an interview. So above is Seagulls interview process. You're welcome to join us in the interesting business as interns or full-time employees. If you're looking for other opportunities in other companies, they will help you as well, because I believe those are core competencies in any workplace. If you do not have it, do not worry. It can be acquired through continuous practice. And I would like to talk about the intern from G-MEO, the interns, their performance from G-MEO. Next slide, please. Thanks for G-MEO have been greatly supporting us to provide excellent interns. After we agreed on our collaboration in this year, and this collaboration extended to our headquarters in Shanghai and Beijing branch, means Seagulls will offer internship opportunities in our 3 companies in China. In the past year, G-MEO recommended at least 30 candidates for internship, and 4 has passed our assessment and face-to-face interview. The work performance during internship were quite impressive. However, I give a higher credit to one girl. As you can see, there are 2 boys, 2 girls, and I will emphasize on this girl because this girl shows another valuable quality, which I think it is also important for our or your future professional career. It is the ability to solve problems or conquer challenges. The girl, as an intern, every time in the work we assigned her work, she never the work she never done before. She will patiently listen to us first for the explanation of the job, brought up numerous questions, and align her ideas with us. Once confirmed, she will break down the work in her own way and finish the work or solve the problems by herself. And the outcome is always satisfied as we expected. And this is how she proves herself to us. She is reliable and we can rely on her. and she knows how to conquer challenges. So as a conclusion of this slide, I personally summarize all our job into one type, is keep solving problems for employers. And this is a sole value for us as employees for a company. Most of the time, challenge is more like complex of problems. Seems impossible sometimes to settle, but however, if you patiently break down the problems to the most and to find solutions for each breakdown, the impossible will be possible. And let's come to the virtual internship. Next page, please. Yep. Sarah, we discussed about this in this room about virtual internship, and I was very interested in this topic because with the wide application of online meeting apps, the world seems smaller, which I deeply noticed very late after COVID-19, and our distance from colleagues, from companies, or from the headquarters is zero now. In this meeting, we have partners from America, Shanghai, Chengdu, every corner of this world. And I also found online technologies helps my company accelerated our globalization by frequent meetings, emails with Seagulls France and my partner at the other side of this world. And I believe this applies to other companies as well. So I'm very positive about your ideas on the virtual internship. But on the other hand, I personally think virtual leadership will be harder than on-site internship because this is a new working method for most of us, and it is challenging our long-term habits. Face-to-face communication, on-site management, and offline collaboration, this we get used to for a long time. So I always believe habits can always be developed. As I'm handling international projects and virtual collaboration is my main job, so I would like to offer my three pieces of advice for future virtual interns. First, to do the virtual intern, first, it requires better skills to communicate by emails or in a meeting. So please keep your expressions in the email or meeting simple and clear in those two. In virtual meeting, always put your eyes on the meeting goal. So the second one will be virtual collaboration. It is harder to get accurate information. Please remember, always take the initiative to communicate. If words in email are vague from your partner or your company, you need clarification by launch a meeting or write an email for clarification. To organize a meeting when necessary, you need to always focus on your meeting goal. If you failed, you will need a second one. That means you're wasting everybody's time. At the end of the meeting, effective action plan needed to be summarized, and actions need to be followed and done to meet the deadline. So the third and the last one, if you work virtually, be ready to input more efforts than offline work. Reading and replying emails, endless meetings will occupy most of your time. In this case, you will have to strictly follow your calendar and manage your time properly. Most of the time, you feel frustrated. Just start to communicate and take actions. This will be the best cure. So that's all for my sharing. As an conclusion, I really appreciate G-MEO Chengdu office support us with excellent interns. So these interns, they did great help to our business. Our domestic and international business are still expanding rapidly. In the future, we will need more interns to support our service. And I announced this good collaboration internally with my boss, the general manager of Seagulls China, and we are aligned to extend our collaboration to Shanghai and Beijing office on internship, maybe more in the future, more perspectives in the future. Virtual work will be the popular working style since a long time ago. We are also willing to try virtual internship with G-MEO in the future as well. And so thank you very much for listening. If you have any, if I have time, or if if you have any questions, we can do the Q&A session. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So I think we're going to do an overall Q&A at the end. So hopefully we'll have a few minutes left over.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So next we will have our two student speakers, Nicole and Vivian. They both participated in our virtual internship program this past summer. So they'll talk a little bit about their experiences, the pros and cons, and just what they learned, especially in terms of the skills that they gained. So next slide, please. So first we will have Nicole. Nicole, go ahead.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicole McDermott, a rising sophomore in computer engineering at Stevens. My plans for the past summer revolved a lot around my academic plans for the rest of my college career. In the spring 2022, I'm starting the co-op program, which is alternating between semesters of study and semesters of work. So because of the constricted schedule that comes with doing co-op, this summer is the only summer where I could do something other than co-op or just the academic work. So from that, I concluded that I should get an internship before that so I can have a little bit of a step up above other people, because it is a competitive thing. And that way you have this experience already done. And then that way you could also do some more professional development before you go back to school. After concluding that I wanted an internship, I realized that a virtual internship is not only popular and really common nowadays, but it would fit more with my schedule with the part-time job or the other activities that I do. And then from there, deciding that I wanted a virtual internship, I wanted an international internship. I got tons of emails from the study abroad program at Stevens, which Susie is the advisor and she's also here. I attended most of the webinars hosted, and I looked at many of the international programs. I looked at a huge list of 66, but G-MEO was the one I narrowed it down to, and I attended a lot of their webinars last year. And I really enjoyed their program. Not only are they handling much of the process with you and finding an internship, there's also a professional development course. So I was really interested in their whole program. So that's why I chose G-MEO. And then from there, the process was really simple and easy. You make the tiny style resume, and then companies will contact G-MEO for an interview, and then G-MEO will put you both in contact with each other. The first interview that I got was with Coding First, and I really liked what they stood for, so I agreed to do an internship with them. Next slide, please. Yeah, my resume had a lot of teaching experience with children, but in many different fields, which didn't really involve computer engineering or computer science. But with Coding First, their focus is early age programming for a brighter future. So they have many different curricula on teaching children to code, but they can have a better future through teaching them. So I thought this would really tie in my whole resume for me and with my previous experiences and then what I wanted to do in the future. At first, like the different types of projects that I made was a lot of different videos and blog posts that are coding walkthroughs or explanations that are educational yet fun for kids. So I would post that to their LinkedIn, their YouTube, and their website. After doing those types of videos, I did a little bit of research to compare their curriculum to different courses around the world just to see what is different and what is similar, because they wanted to reach out to many different places and schools to implement their curriculum with other schools, just so that they can prepare their students for higher level classes through Coding First's curriculum. And then, yeah, from there, I made a lot of the graphics, which are kind of the background of the slide. And I was able to increase their follower count and really boosted the engagement with their LinkedIn. So my advisor was really happy about this. So I was also really glad that I created content which they could grow with. And as Terrence was saying, there's a lot of challenges for me, especially since this is like kind of my first professional experience. Um, some challenges I had to do, especially with communication. There are many times where messages wouldn't really go through, or neither of us would notice for hours because of the different time zones, and because the company is based in many different countries, mainly in China, but my advisor was in Armenia. So because there's so many different hours, it was kind of hard to keep track. But working with 3 different time zones is not really the best, but it can really teach you how to manage your time well and to really kind of understand how to communicate better in those instances. So because of that, it led many projects to take a little longer than necessary. But other than that, the overall experience went really well. My advisors were able to tell me what I did well and what I need to work on in the future. And saying that, I think there are many benefits that came with this internship. You can learn a lot about yourself and then try to improve yourself for the future. Not only that, but to gain experience before looking for another job later down the road, whether you're doing a co-op program like me or anything else that you're looking to do. International experiences also give you the opportunity to communicate with people that might have a different way of thinking or culture from you. So it's beneficial to learn how to communicate in that way. And having an internship online teaches you to be independent and responsible of your own work, which is super important in times like this, where, as Terrence was saying again, like many jobs and work are virtual nowadays because of the pandemic. So yeah, that could really give you the experience that you need so that you can do better when you do go into like a full-time job. So yes, I think it was really worth the experience, and G-MEO's program was really cool. So I highly recommend it. And yeah, that was my experience with G-MEO and Coding First. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Nicole. Next, we have Vivian, who will talk about her experience.
Hello everyone, I'm also from Stevens Institute of Technology and I'll be a rising junior this year. So this summer isn't my first summer as like a college student doing, like internship work or like remote study work. So it was a new experience for me. I think since the speakers before me kind of went through like all these like very important parts or like, key factors of virtual internships. My points will be a little bit like repetitive compared to theirs, but still I can tell you a little bit about like my experience, like personally or like specifically. Because of the situation now, there are many things that I couldn't really choose for myself. So that's kind of like the reason I went virtual, if I were to be super honest. And it's still an experience that I kind of like sought after because I thought that like there are many like times when you can't really choose exactly how you will work, and also because of like technology advancing nowadays, there are many times when like your work will become very online, and especially with, like communication, there's a lot of email and like messaging, so it can really help you develop those skills, I would say. And most importantly, I think communication and having like kind of this independent work was also very important for me during this experience, as kind of mentioned here and there before. And could you just go to the next slide, please? Okay, so to kind of speak generally about like these pros and cons of my experience, I would say this experience was very individualized, if that makes any sense. So it was something that I procured through G-MEO, specifically tailored to my needs and like kind of like my studying. So as a music major at Stevens, there isn't many like connections. There aren't many connections that I could have kind of really like gone to. I would say as like our department is pretty small, and I would say like not a lot of agencies would offer like these specific opportunities, you know, connected to like production or like, you know, music companies. So I was really grateful to be able to kind of like secure that. And so that kind of looked for me, look the schedule wise, what it looked like for me was like a very freelance type schedule, because you know what I did was like producing, mixing, and stuff like that. So I would say like pro wise, this is like freeing for me, you know, and it kind of like let me really work on myself personally, like develop my lifestyle and all that stuff, and also, you know, developing my skills, but not in a very like industrialized manner, I would say. And this also has its like fair share of negative sides, I would say. So you know, when you're kind of put by yourself in this remote, you know, and virtual environment, I would say like there's not a lot of that interaction that you would normally get if you were in an office or like, you know, anywhere on site. And since you're kind of doing everything yourself most of the time, like when you're doing the work, there's a lot of like accountability you have, and like I think Terrence said before, there's a lot of more effort that you have to put into kind of like doing your work and like managing that. And the thing about like different time zones is something that like I think Nicole will also agree that like the communication is kind of like here and there at times, because you know not everyone is on at the same time. So there could be a bit of a struggle there, but that just, you know, adds into kind of developing yourself and like having that mindfulness about time. Yeah. Next slide, please. And these are some three kind of like general big points that were important to me, and like kind of like big lessons that I would learn. These are some keywords. So, you know, honesty, communication, and discipline, it relates to like what I said before about like having an individualized career or like, you know, internship, and also kind of like putting in that effort to develop yourself and also communicate with others. You know, it's something that is very rewarding on like a personal level, I would say. Not necessarily something that I would attribute to like greater like professional terms. For me, I felt like what I got out of it the most was me feeling more comfortable with communicating with professionals, you know, and like working and like not being scared to do all that stuff, because you know I'm a student, or like, oh, I've never done this before, even though it was my first time doing a lot of things throughout my internship. And I also got to work a lot more with like the software that I was using, because you know I had a lot of more opportunities to respond to like professional requests and like demands and stuff like that I wouldn't be able to do kind of like on my own or like academically. Okay, next slide, please. And this is some like additional advice that I was putting, kind of like reflecting on my own experience, right? And so it kind of still relates to the idea of having time differences, and also like that balance between work life and like, you know, personal life. So I think for me the most important you know factors, or like, you know, ideas were these, like having this schedule that you can really follow and, you know, account for this difference or like, you know, struggle in communication. So this is just like looking out for both you and your company, or like whatever partner you'll be working with in the future, if you will be. And also, you know, making sure that you're still satisfied, I would say, with what you're doing, and that, you know, if you're not, then, you know, reach out to other people and be like, oh, I'm not feeling so hot on this, and because blah blah blah, and then like, you know, that kind of helps you come to terms with it and, you know, try to solve it, which is something that can really help you like move forward, I would say, even if you don't really have to, you know, anything that's good for yourself. And I think that may be my last slide. Let me see. Oh, okay, this is my last slide. Never mind. So yeah, I was gonna say like there are a lot of challenges I would say that come with a virtual internship. If I were to compare it to like my past experiences with like any like part-time jobs or like internships like in like a physical workplace, I would say like the challenges were very different, right? There's a lot of stuff that you can resolve like face to face that wouldn't be nearly as difficult as it would be if like you were doing it online. But it's nothing impossible, I would say. And I think like for me personally, I really value those type of interactions, and it really helped me like recognize what I liked and what I disliked in having these different workplaces, and also made me feel better about myself. I feel like I developed my personal life and also my professional life quite a bit during this process. So I think at the end of the day, or like the summer, what really matters the most is what you get out of it in terms of your own satisfaction. Yeah. So that was the end of my speech. Thank you for listening.
All right, thank you so much, Vivian. And now, last we will hear from Sarah, who is the director at the Chengdu American Center for Study Abroad, and who does a lot of the coordination for internship placement. So whenever you're ready, Sarah.
Okay, so hi, Stephanie, and hi, everyone. So can you hear me, Stephanie?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So hi, everyone. My name is Sarah, and I'm the director of Chengdu American Center for Study Abroad. And in the past few years, actually, I joined G-MEO in 2015, and I've been working with G-MEO for about 5 to 6 years. In the past few years, like I have been helping coordinating internship programs. So be very happy and be honored to be here representing G-MEO, sharing some of my thoughts about virtual internship here in China. And I guess I think previous 3 panelists have shared some of the benefits and challenges of virtual internship. So here I'm more like drawing a conclusion of some of your ideas and adding a little bit of my own thoughts. So regarding the benefits and challenges of virtual internship, Stephanie, next page. Hello? Yeah. Regarding the benefits and challenges of virtual internship, better next page. Yeah, okay, good. So yeah, as both Vivian and Nicole mentioned that, so doing a virtual internship not only provides you a great opportunity for our personal development, but also a great way to discover your potentials, your strengths, and weaknesses. But also, you don't need to leave your country or leave your hometown and balance a study of internship at the same time, or at least learn to balance study and internship at the same time. But also experiencing a new culture, or either a new culture of a new country or a new workplace. So those are the benefits, I think, for a virtual internship. But the challenges, there do exist challenges, especially those two. One, I think Nicole and Vivian both mentioned, it's a time difference. For example, here we're now like having 12 hours to 13 hours time difference from China to US. So if you're taking in a virtual internship here in China, I think we shall be keep in mind this time difference, the challenge part. And besides the culture difference and the language barrier. So to be frank here, like China is getting more and more internationalized. However, not like 100% of the internship providers could like communicate in English that fluently like Terrace. Yeah. Okay. So but another point I wanted to mention is I agree with Vivian that taking a virtual internship, sometimes you may feel that you're lacking of engagement and integration with your colleagues or with your peers. But there are always ways to solve the problem. Okay, yeah, just some of my thoughts about this topic. And please move to the next page. Okay, yeah. So here I'm now working in Chengdu, China. So I would like to strongly recommend Chengdu as a very good place for virtual internship. Here I would like to say it's the best place because you know if you want to take in virtual internship here in China, probably you know Beijing, Shanghai, or Hong Kong. Those are more famous in US. But those but here Chengdu, personally I think it's the best city because it is with the perfect combination of modern and traditional essence of China. So if you wanted to learn both modern essence of China and traditional essence of China, so Chengdu city is the best place to go. And because it is nicknamed as China's Silicon Valley and Southwest. Next page, please. Yeah, right. Chengdu city is nicknamed as China's Silicon Valley, and it is located in southwest China, kind of ranking the third largest high-tech zone in the country, and is currently one of the 6 national central cities in China. So it is full of exciting economic environment, but also with very great richness of history and culture. And besides those two, like the research wealth and education resource are also very rich because there are about 56 universities plus 30 more than 30 national research institutes here in Chengdu. Yeah, and for the overseas returnees, it is ranked one of the top 3 most popular city for them. Okay, yeah, next page. Okay, yes, here again for the advice part, I think Terence, Nicole, and Vivian, the 3 have shared quite a lot of very hands-on and very practical advice for the virtual internships. So I'd like to draw a little bit conclusion more as from my perspective and based on my experience of coordinating internship placements. So I think setting the proper expectation is very important. Actually, it's not only proper expectation from the student sides, but also the internship provider sides somehow. Yeah. So, but regarding the student sides, I think we have to be fully aware of the fact that a virtual internship it is different from a regular internship. So you have to think through what you really wanted to gain from this experience, from this internship, either academically or professionally or culturally, or which is your priority. You have to think through about this. And be aware that the challenges we mentioned before exist. And the first one is that I would suggest you be careful while choosing the right internship program. And the second advice is that ensure clear communication. So yeah, the 3 above panelists, all of them have mentioned that communication is very, very important among while doing a virtual internship. So whenever you're having confusion or challenging understanding what your supervisor or your colleagues their requests or their information. So don't hesitate to ask for clarification, and keep close eye on the due dates part. But for those challenges that mentioned, so the third advice I wanted to say is that also providing a solution for those that make the best of available resources. For example, like the email and the Zoom meeting, those kind of communication tools. Plus here, the typical, very, very popular communication tool here in China is WeChat. So try to learn that and make the best of the resources. And besides these communication tools, I would suggest you like ask for resources that your internship provider may provide to you, like some kind of software or any other resources. Yeah. Also together, like the people around as a potential resource for help, either your colleagues or even like a program coordinator. For example, like if you're taking G-MEO a virtual internship, so here we'll always be here helping you coordinate, like making sure your communication with your internship provider is smooth. So yeah, that's kind of available resources part. And the fourth advice is that embrace the potential challenges. So be positive about that. Personally speaking, like I kind of, while you were talking, the previous three panelists were talking about virtual internship, I kind of think of myself, like I'm I have been working with G-MEO New York office for about 5 to 6 years. It's kind of virtual work somehow, but yeah, the challenges, that time difference, the culture difference, or language barrier, are all those challenges that I haven't been facing. So for me, for the time difference, I think I take it from the positive side. Even like the good side, for example, like my colleagues, they sent me emails during my nighttime, and I could finish my project in the daytime of China. So that is it's good way of communication once they get up from their sleep, and they could see my project and they could check, and then it's it's good way of making the communication more effective. So I took it from the positive side. Okay, so next page. Yeah, for the opportunities for 2021 virtual internships, I think, yeah, everybody knows that the COVID-19 is full of uncertainty. So most of the companies are like getting to accept the reality, and the virtual internship is getting more and more popular. So I think they are full of opportunities for virtual internship, like more and more internship positions are opening, and more diversified internship programs are designed, either like a non-credit or credit bearing, or like duration part, either 1 month, 4 week, or 8 week, or 10 week. Now, like G-MEO, we are providing 8 weeks program or 10 weeks internship programs in fall 2021. And for the opportunity, third part is that like both parties here, I mean, both the student side and the internship provider side are better prepared based on the previous practice. Like more people are getting familiar with the concept and practice of virtual internship. And we know like the challenges that for virtual internship. So people are working on solutions for the potential challenges. So if you're going to take the virtual internship in for 2021, I think you got more chance to have better achievements even. Yeah, next page, please. So yeah, in general, the virtual internship in the future, I think there are more opportunities for positions from different industry, I think, and more students from different countries, so different world would be engaged, would participate, and even like new programs will be designed, either like hospitality management or even nursing or global health related virtual internship would be designed. So yeah, look forward to your participation and engagement. And thank you. Back to you, Stephanie.
All right, thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you again to all of our speakers. I really appreciate everyone taking the time to share your experiences, your perspectives. It's really helpful. So for the last 10 minutes or so, or depending on how many we have time for question and answer. So please, in the chat, if you have any questions for any of our panelists, please send that now, and I can read through them if there are any. So we'll just take a couple minutes. And if nobody has questions, we can. All right, so we have one question here. How can high school students find internships? Sarah, would you like to take this one?
Okay, so for okay, thank you. That's a very good question. I think for high school students, there is a little bit a tricky part. Personally, I think so. It's different from the college students. Since high school students, most are not adults, so most of the companies they may at least hesitate to hire like adolescents as interns. So it is kind of legal part. But if for some volunteering programs, I think that could be a option. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. And then next question is, what was your favorite part of the internship? I guess Nicole and Vivian, you can go ahead, whoever wants to talk on this.
I'll go first. I think one of my favorite parts was having the video calls with my advisor. Honestly, my advisor specifically with coding first, she was really nice and like really just great to work with, and overall just like a really good person. So even when we had like those personal talks, I thought they were just kind of like cool to have alongside like the more work-based talks. And then also doing like the more work-related, I guess, part of that would be making the graphic posts. I honestly really liked making the graphics that I posted on their LinkedIn and then uploading them every day. So yeah, I really like making those and then seeing like how many people would engage with it and then seeing what I could do better. So yeah, that was probably one of my favorite parts.
I think my favorite part is something also very similar to Nicole's, because I had like a production, like creative type internship. So one of my favorite parts was actually doing the creating, like making the music and also like kind of like listening to what I'm doing and like listening to like the the inspirations. And also we had this course, like professional development course, and this isn't really like the actual internship, but I really like that course. I like like talking to people who are doing like similar opportunities as me, at the same time, like Nicole and some other students in the class, and also talking with my professor about like professional stuff that I didn't really get to develop, I think, like in person. So, having that talk, like weekly and meeting was very special to me.
All right, thank you both. And another question for Nicole and Vivian. Why did you choose China for the international internship that you chose? Because I guess you could have chosen any country. Why China?
For me, okay, my church that I go to is very international, and they place you in like a different group every year. So the group that I got placed in this year is heavily there's like a lot of people like directly from China that come, that they're from Chengdu or those kind of areas. So because I keep talking to them and they're teaching me Mandarin, I actually had like a special interest in doing some work in China, because a lot of my friends, they actually are also working abroad professionally. So I kind of wanted to be like them and then do something very similar. So that's why I wanted to do China.
For me, it was kind of just, me going to like the study abroad office and asking, if any of these study abroad companies could help me find an opportunity that was specific to me. Since my department was so like small, I would say, in my university, there weren't a lot of opportunities that like were just presented to me. So I had to find something like specifically tailored for me, and that's why I chose G-MEO, because a year ago when I applied as a freshman, they helped me find something on site, and like that's when I was gonna jump on it, and then that couldn't happen, so I had to wait for this year, which is why I still like stuck through with G-MEO, because they helped me find something. Hope that helps.
Cool, thank you, everyone. And then another question. So if a student is applying to be an intern, how important is their major? Terrence, do you want to talk about your students' majors and how that plays a role?
Sorry, this is a question for me, right?
I think so, if you want to
Okay.
try to answer it.
Actually, first we looking at this at two ways. For my work, because we offer internships, and the job is to do support service. So we don't care a lot about the majors, and so we will always ask the question: are you like actually if you're from you have a very strong engineer background? Do you care if you do service job? Nothing related to your major. And this will, if you are okay with the job offer we provided, and pass our assessment, we are okay with any major. And as long as you can finish or do good quality of your work or the assignment. So that was my answer. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And then Sarah, do you have anything to say about the role a student's major plays in their placement? Sarah, you're on mute.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, yeah, as Terrace mentioned, so for actually based on my experience, I think for some companies, they do not care, they do not mind whether you're engineering major or you're like a biology major students. But for some specific, for example, like a software, or if you're going to do coding parts, those kind of internship positions. So yeah, there's specific requirements for students major, but it depends on the company's type and also the position opening. So yeah, hope it helps with the students' question.
Okay, and another question is, will an internship lead to any job opportunities in China? Terrence or Sarah?
I think Terrace has the best road to say, right?
Yes. So first, yes, but if it's international, it's a little bit hard for us. It's good news is Seagulls, we have a lot of branches in the world, so we can recommend. This is the first. The second will be we have a lot of cases in our company. They successfully they finish their interns in Seagulls China, and we acknowledge this interns work capability, and we will have the both, like on both sides we will have the agreement. If like we will ask the intern if you want to stay with us for your further career, and if the intern says yes, and we will sign a contract. And there are a lot of cases in not just in my company, in other companies as well.
Mhm.
Hope this answers your question. Yeah.
And Stephanie, yeah, I would like to add a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, as Terence mentioned that, I wanted to mention one of the special parts of G-MEO internship program is that 90% of our internship partners are either very famous local company, but with branch offices overseas, but also or internationalized companies. So for the job opportunities, actually, they would prefer the internship partners. They would prefer our students, like interns, to to be their fully employed employees after the internship, because they frankly told me that they spent quite a bit time to helping with our students' growth, or like train the students. So they would love to, if the students are like excellent enough, like they would like to invite the students to be the fully employed employees. So either like to be hired here in China, or recommend to their offices like overseas. I do remember actually like a Vivian, when we were helping with the Vivian for the first music studio in internship interview, that one of the internship provider mentioned that they have like either partners or their branch offices in New York, even in US. Yeah.
I would like to have more. Sorry,
Thank
I would
you.
like to have like one more
Great.
case. The two interns from G-MEO, Sarah just reminded me. In this year, we got it. The girl I talked about, and she was an intern recommended by G-MEO, and she performed her job very, very good. And but regretfully, she has to come back to United States to finish her job, the study. So before she go back to America, and I asked her, I offered her, if you come back, you're willing to come back to China for life and for work, we are willing to have this job offer for you. So this is a very direct case from internship to job opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Terence.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Terence and Sarah. It looks like we are about out of time. I just want to let everybody know that if you have any other questions, you can email us or visit our website. I just put that in the chat below. And I'd like to remind you that we will hold our virtual internship program this fall and again next summer. So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions, or you are interested, or you may have students who are interested. I want to thank our panelists again so much for sharing your perspectives and for taking the time to speak with us today. And to everyone attended, I hope you enjoyed and got something out of this. And again, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.